All right, today is Tuesday, August 18th, 2020. This is the end of the day review from our live trading room where we trade the adaptive entry system signals throughout the day. The adaptive entry system signal set was created by NewCycle Trading and Analytics, and it offers 4 specific signals that we can trade. 4 specific signals. There's the trend bias trade, which is the shift in the color change in the price bar. There is the momentum signal, there is a consensus signal, and then there's a continuation signal. All of this is our signals and methods that are part of the system that we taught in training in both the futures education course as well as the training for the adaptive entry system. We trade this here every day in the live trading room, and I track every one of the trades. Track these in real time just to record our performance as well as understand what the averages are and what types of opportunities each of our individual traders may want to take advantage of. So this is a list of the trades, time frames, etc. Then we have a daily summary which shows at the end of each day what the total point value trading on the NASDAQ 100 futures is. That's where we are focusing our attention. This system, the adaptive entry system, works on most any futures contracts you want to trade, most any option, stock option, tracking the performance of a stock. But we highlight and profile the NASDAQ 100 futures because it allows us to very easily show people the sequence of trades, how to think about the trade, how to think about forming your stop, how to think about taking profits, how to read the market, maybe adjusting your profit target to lock in profits when the market is a little more sluggish like it was today. So at the end of the day, we take a look at the total number of points accumulated in 2 categories. One is by trading from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m., taking only the trend bias trades. Those are the trends indicated by the adaptive entry system. And then we also include in that the continuation trades, which allow us to get back into a trend if we've already taken ourselves out for a profit. The second category we track is the 9:30 to noon category. That's for people who don't want to trade all day. And we track 9:30 to noon, assuming that we trade all signals, meaning trend bias, consensus, momentum, and continuation signals. So today on our 9:30 to noon category, we had 4 3/4 points. Not very productive, but it's the nature of trading. Yesterday we had 50 points. We've had other days where we've had 50 or 35 points, and then we've had days where we've lost 35 or 30 points. But what we're mostly interested in is the overall average, and can we take that average run rate and project it out for a 12-month period to help us determine what our income could potentially be, helping ourselves set aside the emotion of I had a losing day or I had a very poor day today, only 4 3/4 points, etc., etc. These are all sorts of stories that we tell ourselves, the games that we play, the mental games we play as traders, if we don't have some sort of a big picture perspective. So I'm going to take that 4 3/4 points times $20 a point. Each point is worth $20. And I'm going to jump over to our trading plan, our personal trading plan. And this is the trading plan here. You've seen this before if you've been following along with me. All of the fields that are in blue are actual days that we've already logged and recorded. So I'm going to go to our data entry field over here. This is trading NQ futures, and we are trading 3 contracts. Our plan helps us scale up to the right number of contracts based on our risk tolerance. So $95 on a single contract times 3 means $285 for the day. And in terms of expense and keeping track of our cost of doing business, we had 10 trades and 3 contracts each, so we have 30 contracts. So now we come back over here and we see that that results in a net of about $165 today. Good news is we didn't lose money. Bad news, not as productive as we would like to see. Now, set all that aside. because we're putting this in the context of the big picture with our overall trading plan. Our average, when we blend together winning days and losing days, is 17.25%. Not, I'm going to say that differently. 17.25 points, not percent. 17.25 points. But when we break down the winning days and the losing days, our losing days are averaging 15.6 points, and we assume one losing day a week, and we are right on pace for that. And our winning days, which we assume on an average happens 4 days a week, is averaging 27.4 points a day. So that's our forecast. That's our forecast right now for all days going forward beyond our actual performance. Now up here, I can see what our actual average is for winning days and our actual averages for losing days. So based on the fact that our losing days are 15.62 points, I'm going to leave our future forecast set at 15.6, and we are actually right on pace to lose on an average about 1 day a week. So I'm going to leave that alone. The forecast number that I want to adjust is the positive production profitable day, because we are actually averaging with today's logged in 26.44. So I'm going to lower this by a point. 26.4, that is our future forecast for the positive winning days that we have. By putting that in after we record our actual performance, we can determine what our potential income is for our trading for a 12-month period. This is just simple math, folks. If you traded today, you took every one of the signals from 9:30 to noon, and you finished with 4 3/4 points, having done 10 trades, you log that in. There's no emotion associated with that. You take a look at what your actual average wins are, actual average losses are, and you update your forecast accordingly and project that out with a maximum of 3 contracts. Now this is a number that you can change. You can change this to whatever you desire it to be. It will always be capped at 10% of your account balance. 10% of your account balance is allocated to contracts, and when you're trading NQ futures, each contract requires $500. If I want to trade 3 contracts, I need $1,500 of margin available in my account. But if I'm limiting that number to 10%, it means that 1,500 would require 15,000 in the account in order to trade. So we limit it by a variable over here that you can set. You can make that 5%, you can make it 20%. I have it set at 10%. I think that's a very conservative number. But then, instead of just continuously scaling higher and higher and higher as the account grows, we can limit it to some level of comfort that you might have in terms of risk tolerance. And in our case, just to be conservative and show you what is possible, we've limited it to 3 contracts, maximum of 3 contracts. And each of you should be investing time in plugging these numbers in at the end of the day in your personal trading plan. That projects out a $272,000 income over the course of 12 months, having started with $5,000. Will that actually happen? I have no idea. I can tell you after 12 months. But what I do know is the best way to know where you're headed is to follow the adaptive entry system signals, log your performance at the end of each day, adjust your profit projection forecast and your loss projection forecast, and see where that puts you. Now, when we first started tracking this several weeks ago, I think 7 weeks ago, in the live trading room to demonstrate for our community how effectively this works, this number was forecasting out to about $350,000. Well, we have more performance under our belt. That's natural. That's going to happen. The best time for you to be building your 12-month forecast is after you have 12 months behind you. You've got a full year of averages, and you have a very realistic idea of what your income could be for that year. Right now, We're in the 7th week of a 52-week period, and that number will constantly change. There are going to be periods of time where we may increase that forecast, and there are going to be periods of time where we may decrease that forecast. Ultimately, the objective is to have it as realistic as possible based on what your actual performance is. So I'm pretty comfortable with that. I think that 3 contracts makes it very conservative. If you made that 5 contracts, knowing that you're never going to get to 5 contracts unless you have enough in the account based on 10% of your total balance of the account, well, 5 contracts makes a big difference. You could potentially be at 437,000. That is a number variable that is entirely up to you. All right, so let's take a look at our second category now. That is the trend bias only trades from 7 a.m. to 4 Eastern. We did 26 and 3/4 points today. Now I will tell you that 26 and 3/4 points feels really good today because it was a little bit sluggish. We were locking in 5 points along the way on several trades because we just were not seeing follow through. But if you can do that and you manage your trades appropriately, and you end up with 26 and 3/4 points at the end of the day, I consider that to be a win. Again, it's not what your individual day is like, it's what your overall blended average is. So I'm going to jump back to our trading plan here. We are also scaled up to 3 contracts in this plan. So that puts us at a profit today of $1,605. And we had 15 trades, 3 contracts per trade. So that is 45 contracts. And so now we go up to the top. This is the most important part. The data entry takes you 30 seconds. The most important part is now evaluating your future forecast. What are you going to base it on? Well, our winning days are averaging 35.58 points. I've got the future forecast at 36. Yeah, that's reasonably close. I'm going to leave it at 36. And our losing days are averaging at 15.4, and we have that set at 15.4. Actually, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to lower this to 35.5. I want it to be as close to the actual average as possible so that I have the most realistic forecast I could possibly have. And then I have this capped out at 3 contracts. That shows a possible income over a 12-month period of about $392,000. Now that's trading from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. That's only taking the trend bias trades and the continuation trades that allow us to jump back into the trend, all based on the adaptive entry system. So that's the overall summary. That's what we do with our personal trading plan. I think we have a very nice run rate going here. It may increase, it may decrease, whatever it is, we're going to continue to adjust it on a daily basis so that we have a realistic forecast of what our income could potentially be. I had a couple of people ask me, is it possible, could I, make more? They give me certain amounts. All the variable is right here, the total number of contracts, the maximum number of contracts that you're willing to trade. If you change it to 8 contracts, well, then you've got a pretty big number. Do you want to trade 8 contracts? Are you comfortable trading 8 contracts? 8 contracts is $4,000 of margin. You'd have to have 40,000 in the account to trade that if you're going to use a 10% factor. But all it is now is math. Once you have understood the adaptive entry system, once you've understood how to trade the signals, once you've been producing a reasonable flow of profits and you're starting to plug them in your trading plan, this number right here, the maximum number of contracts, is a variable that you can play around with and adjust to whatever degree you're comfortable with your own personal trading. Last thing here, I'm just going to jump over to the averages. The overall average, even though we only had 4 3/4 points today, the overall average for the 9:30 to 12 all signals is just under 26 points a day. So again, I really want to emphasize that performance should not be based on a single day. Your view of how you're doing as a trader should not be based on a single day. It should be based on a period of time where you are looking at overall blended averages between wins and losses, and you're looking at a go forward forecast that shows you where you could possibly be in 12 months. The 10-point target, sorry, the trend bias trade only, where we use a 10-point profit trigger, is averaging 28 and a quarter point, 38 and a quarter points a day. 38 and a quarter points a day. Well, we did 26.35. Yesterday we did 30 and a quarter. Friday we did 125. We've had 82-point days. We've had losing days. We lost 32 points. Again, not one single one of these days, including the big win day, is a stake in the ground as to your success or lack of success as a trader. Not one single day. It's all about the averages, and it's all about your personal financial forecast for your trading business. So I really appreciate you being here. Appreciate you being in our live trading room. Appreciate those of you who may be listening to this on a recording. Appreciate you following along, paying attention. The adaptive entry system combined with a personal trading plan is a gold mine possibility for any trader. Thanks again for being here. We'll be back again tomorrow.